Hey guys, what's up? This is White Boy for the win, and welcome back to Why Mega Evolve. Now, earlier last week we talked about Mega Ambipom, and today we're going to be talking about Mega Arcanine. But before we get started, let me just give you guys a brief explanation on what this series is about. Now, every week I will be picking two Pokemon that either need a Mega Evolution, deserve a Mega Evolution, or want a Mega Evolution for. Now, this is based off my opinion alone, and no one else's. Now, if you guys do not like my opinion, then please post your own opinions in the comment section down below about what would you keep, what would you change, and etc. And at the end of every video, we'll be telling you guys which Pokemon we're going to be talking about the following day. So with that said, here is Mega Arcanine. Now, when I say this, I know a lot of Pokemon fans are going to agree that Arcanine is somewhat of a fan favorite Pokemon. Now, it's not as popular for instance Pikachu, Charizard, and Mewtwo, iconic Pokemon, because people who don't even know what Pokemon is know what Pikachu is, know what Charizard is, know what Mewtwo is, because they're in Super Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS, and they're just really iconic. Now, when it comes to Arcanine, I would say is a more iconic Pokemon throughout the Pokemon franchise as a whole, with fans and stuff. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I was growing up playing Fire Red, I always had to have an Arcanine on my team because I absolutely loved Arcanine, because fire types are my favorite typing, and Arcanine was a fire type, and I always wanted to actually have one on my team. Now, when it comes to me playing a Pokemon game like Leaf Green, Fire Red, that doesn't have really a competitive aspect to it, I like to have different variety of types, at least to have at least one of each typing as much as I can. For instance, I only have one grass type, one water type, one fire type, but with the occasion of me actually having Charizard on my team, because every time I play Fire Red and Leaf Green, most of the time I picked Charizard, and I always just wanted to have Charizard and Arcanine both on the team because they're part of my all-time favorite Pokemon, hands down. Now, like I was saying, Arcanine, like I said, isn't really an iconic Pokemon throughout the world, I would say, because it's not really as iconic as Pikachu, Charizard, and Mewtwo, like I said before. Now, if you read the Pokédex description for Arcanine, I can't remember which one, but Arcanine is supposedly a legendary Pokemon per se. I remember reading it somewhere that they scrapped the idea of making Arcanine a legendary Pokemon, so they just made it a regular Pokemon, had a pre-evolution, which is Growlithe, and use a Firestone and get an Arcanine. But nonetheless, I think Arcanine is a deserving Pokemon to receive a Mega, just because its stats are really good, actually. I mean, you could run a bulky set, you could run a physical set, but most of the time a lot of people like to run the bulky set like I do. But I honestly think, like I said, this thing does deserve a Mega Evolution, just because it's an iconic Pokemon. It kind of does need one, but at the same time it doesn't, and I would just like to see what its Mega design will look like. Now, the design I am using for this video is not what I would actually see Arcanine becoming for its Mega design. I kind of envision it to be really, really badass looking. More badass looking than this, I would say, but nonetheless, this is pretty much the best Mega picture you're going to get from me for a Mega Arcanine. But anyways, as you can tell from what I've done to its stats, I did increase everything, because honestly I think everything needed to get increased. Now, let's just get right into it. So for its physical attack, I increased it from base 110 to base 150. Now, at the beginning, when I was actually distributing the stats, I actually had a base 135 in physical attack and base 120 in special attack, and I decided to actually just scrap it and make this thing a base 150 attack, because let's be honest, Arcanine is a very, very powerful physical attacking Pokemon, whether if you're running a bulky set or not. And with the moves Extreme Speed, Close Combat, Flare Blitz, and maybe Wild Charge if you're just going full out offensive attacking Arcanine, this thing is just going to do its job and pretty much just knock out a lot of your opponent's Pokemon, just because Arcanine is so powerful. Even without the Mega Evolution, it's really, really powerful as it is. So with base 150 attack, I can honestly think that Arcanine is going to be a very, very powerhouse, while also being a bulky Pokemon as well. Now, for its special attack, I increased it from base 100 to base 110. Now, like I said, I actually had base 135 for Arcanine's physical attack, and base 120-ish for its special attack, but I was you know what? I think Arcanine's physical attack should be a lot higher. So what I done is I took like 10 points off of its special attack, what I had at the beginning as base 120, and 5 points from its speed, which we'll get to in a sec, to make it to base 150. But nonetheless, even without the Mega Evolution, Arcanine's special attack is actually really good, and it can be used as like a mixed Arcanine as well, because I've seen some people use like, what is it, Morning Sun, Will-O-Wisp, Flare Blitz, and like Flamethrower or Overheat for an example, because sometimes, like, even though you're physical and you come across like Ferrothorn for example, even though Arcanine isn't in OU, it's in UU from the best of my knowledge, is if I remember that, if it's in UU. But a lot of people like to bring like underused Pokemon into like an OU battle and stuff, and I've seen a lot of Arcanine back when I played Smogon singles, and I've always like seen people run like mixed Arcanine with like Flare Blitz and like Overheat and stuff like that. So with base 110 special attack, if you want to go fully special, I can actually see Arcanine becoming a fully special defensive or a fully special attacking Pokemon per se at base 110. So if you want to go with like full special attack, you can. If you want to go full physical, you can. If you want to go mixed, that's even possible as well, because if you cannot tell by now, its special attack is at base 110, which was Arcanine's physical attack at base 110 before its Mega Evolution. So if you know how hard Arcanine hits as a physical attacker, you already know how hard it's going to hit with a special attacker. Now for both of its defenses, I increased them both from base 80 to base 100. Honestly, I kind of just wanted to even them out to base 100 because Arcanine is really bulky, and most of the time a lot of people like to run max HP, max physical defense, and like foreign and like attack or special attack, depending on which kind of like physical or special attack if you want to be. So Arcanine can't eat hits, and a lot of people like to run like the Intimidate on it as well, so then you know you're going to be able to live at least one hit from like an Earthquake coming from like, I don't know, a Garchomp for an example, because that is actually possible with like base 80 defense with like an Intimidate coming from Arcanine. So with base 100 in both physical and special defense, this thing is going to be a bulky Pokemon to be able to take at least 1 or 2 hits. Now for its speed, I only increased it from base 95 to base 110. Now like I said, for its physical attack, I took some points away from its special attack and somewhat from its speed to make it its physical attack to base 150. Now, for its speed, I actually had it at base 115, and I decreased it by 5 points for like its final like increasement for its stats for its Mega Evolution, and put the rest in it. Put that 5 into its physical attack, because honestly, Arcanine can be pretty fast, and it also can be like pretty bulky but not fast at the same time, but it can be fast enough to outspeed things, because Arcanine does get access to extreme speed, which if I'm not mistaken is like the highest priority like attacking move, like ignoring like protect and stuff like that, but it's the highest like priority like attacking move to hit your opponent with. So it does, I believe, outspeed like Gale Wing's Talonflame. So if you want to, so a lot of people really like to run like extreme speed for coverage as well. I know I do too. But with 110 speed, honestly, if you want to run like max physical attack, max speed, you can, because its speed's at the point where it can't outspeed a lot of things in the UU tier. So with base 110, I actually think it's pretty perfect. Now, as a regular Arcanine, its base stats at 555, and with the Mega Evolution, it's going to be at 655. Now, for its ability, I really couldn't think of a good ability besides Intimidate to give to Mega Arcanine, because Intimidate fits Arcanine oh so well, because a lot of people, like I said, like to run the bulky set when it comes to Arcanine. So if you want to run like a Mega Arcanine bulky set, you can, because it does have the, I did give it the Intimidate, I should say, for its Mega ability. I was thinking about giving it a new ability, but I really couldn't think of anything that would fit Arcanine really well. So I just, like I said, to get this, sorry about that, to decide to give Arcanine the Intimidate ability. It's the perfect ability, and I just think that Intimidate is like the best, one of the best abilities in the game. Now for its typing, I know a lot of people are probably not going to agree, but I actually added on the Dragon type characteristics. Now there's reasons of why I actually like gave it the Dragon type characteristics. Well, for starters, one, Arcanine is considered a legendary Pokemon in the Pokédex, and when it comes to legendary Pokemon, I always see them as like dragon types. Now, like excluding like I would say like Terrakion and stuff like that, but like when you hear the word legendary, you don't think of like a flying psychic type or like a fire flying Pokemon whatsoever. You always think of like dragon type because dragons are so cool. And honestly, I think dragon type can actually fit well with Arcanine because Arcanine does get access to Outrage and it also gets access to Dragon Pulse. So if you want to run a special Arcanine with like Dragon Pulse, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, and like Solar Beam or something like that, you can. Or if you want to run Outrage, you can, because like I said, either way, Arcanine does get access to stab dragon moves, whether if you want to go special or physical, and I just think the dragon type characteristics is a very, very good move to actually add on to Arcanine. So with that, there is Mega Arcanine. So anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to comment and subscribe. Now the next Pokemon we are going to be talking about is from 3rd gen, and I know a lot of people don't really want to see any more 3rd gen Megas, but honestly with this Pokemon, I think it's a more deserving Pokemon than a lot of Pokemon I've done from this series, and that is Dustox. So yes, we are going to be talking about Mega Dustox this Friday, because Dustox, I would say, in my honest opinion, is probably the worst 3rd gen Pokemon to ever been created. So like I said, on Friday we are going to be talking about Mega Dustox. So like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Also don't forget to comment and subscribe. So this is White Boy for the win, and I'll catch you guys later.